have I actually thought Trump was my daddy. And Kamala is not our mommy. Now I realize Drew Barrymore has an effed up mom who put her into the spotlight at this young age and let her do drugs and drink when she was, I think, in the single digits, or like 12 at the oldest. That's a sickness, right? She's platformed these people. She leaned in and woke. Now she wants to get away with on Bill Maher. If you've changed, then own that. Own how you've changed, how you've seen the error of your ways. You won't be kneeling down to the transgender cult anymore. And I'll listen to you. A lot of people have evolutions. I will listen to you. Right now, I think you're just saying what you think you need to say to be popular with Bill Maher's audience.
Drew Barrymore's sit-down with Bill Maher turned into a PR mess, dragging up her awkward Dylan Mulvaney and Kamala Harris moments. Social media ripped her apart, but it was Megyn Kelly's brutal takedown that did the most damage. Kelly cut through Barrymore's image, exposing hypocrisy and leaving her reputation wobbling. Whether she bounces back is uncertain, but this fiasco showed just how fragile her brand really is.
On Drew Barrymore, this is again on the podcast, and listen to what she said in SOT 28.
You have a lot of bravado about what you think is the truth or not, but it's just so refreshing. Like, you were doing this before it was so dangerous.
Still dangerous.
And it is just way too dangerous now, but you're still doing it.
It's slightly less dangerous than it was 2 years ago because we did have a vibe change, and because the Democrats lost so badly in 2024, the blush is off the rose on left-wing censorship, and oh my God, you can't say that. Stop telling me what I can do, what I can say, what I can think, who my heroes are supposed to be. Just get off them.
Bill Maher, never one to hold back, accidentally admitted what many already believe. Free speech was stronger under Trump. Under Biden, every word feels like a risk, with careers and reputations destroyed by woke outrage. Maher isn't a MAGA guy, but even he acknowledged the reality. Kelly linked that straight to Barrymore, blasting her for siding with the same cancel culture machine while pretending to defend openness.
He's saying what he's always said, to his credit. He's been very consistent. But there you have Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore talking about how it's still too dangerous to speak out with your real opinions. So what are her real opinions? Because just like Jimmy Kimmel and Sarah Silverman, she's been fueling the fire of wokeism for years. Who could forget how she humiliated herself next to fake, quote unquote, woman, meaning a man, Dylan Mulvaney, who came on her show and was treated like Jesus.
Barrymore still floats in a woke bubble, ignoring how much the tide has turned. While Americans are pushing back against censorship, she clings to tired narratives about free speech being dangerous. Funny how she never complained when the left was crushing dissent. Back then, she cheered it on. Now, with wokeism mocked and rejected, her stance looks less principled and more desperate.
Oh my God. There's so much wrong with that clip. It's stomach turning. She's like, leftists need to learn the number one lesson of being happy in life. Do not lean into your problems. Don't lean into crazy. Everyone's had crazy in their lives. The successful, sane ones do not obsess over it, do not want to relive it over and over, do not want to talk about it night and day on their show, do not talk about things like the ground feels safe to me, and they certainly do not literally bend the knee to the cult of transgenderism, Drew, and then talk about how, gee, it feels so dangerous. It's so dangerous, still too dangerous to say how you really feel. About what? What is it? Do you have a reversal on that issue?
Kelly raised a sharp point. Maybe Barrymore's views on transgenderism have shifted, but she's too scared to admit it. In today's climate, even a hint of dissent sparks a mob. Barrymore knows that silence protects her image, so she sticks to safe talking points. Kelly argued this isn't about lacking conviction, it's about fear. And in Hollywood, fear of cancellation is everything.
A risk. You're in a safe space with Bill. Maybe he should have gotten her down on the floor and she would have said how she really felt. You continuously vote for the party and the people who push that bullshit on us. You, madam, are complicit. You hosted Kamala Harris, who says, we all need to be woke. We need to be woke because we just do. That's your person who you actually had on your program and wanted us to call Mamala.
Her Kamala Harris interview was another disaster, more fangirling than journalism. Barrymore tossed soft questions and gushed like a campaign ad, pushing DNC talking points without challenge. But the glossy promises didn't hold up, and the act quickly looked hollow. What was meant to showcase Kamala only exposed Barrymore's blind promotion of politics over reality.
When we lift each other up, we all rise with the mouth quivering, just like the hideous to Dylan. Where do you find the strength to keep being the joy? Where do you find the strength to keep being the joy? Oh my God, she's too far gone. This is what happens when you become a Hollywood actress as a child. You lose your id. You don't know who you are. You're just floating. You're like the Martian, the astronaut disconnected from the spaceship. You're just adrift in space, untethered. You don't know who you are. Where do you find the strength to keep being the joy?
Kelly isn't wrong. Barrymore's issues didn't appear overnight. Growing up in Hollywood from childhood warped her reality and left her constantly performing, even off camera. That kind of pressure has crushed plenty of stars before her. Lindsay Lohan, Selena Gomez, Ariana Grande. The list is long. The industry chews kids up and spits them out, and Barrymore has been carrying those scars for decades. That's why Kelly's critique stings. It's not just about one bad interview. It's about years of Hollywood conditioning catching up with her.
Not joyful. Okay, he's a sick person, Dylan Mulvaney. He, I believe, may have had his penis chopped off. He's taking massive amounts of hormones. He's pretending that he is something other than what he is. And I believe, and many others believe too, because he really wants to be famous. He's been wanting to be famous for many, many years. He wasn't able to make it as a man, or a gay man, or a non-binary man, and now has gone full Eloise. And that's something that you think is brave, and you celebrated it openly on your show and told others that they should too.
Fame is addictive. It promises validation, money, and influence, and people will twist themselves into knots to keep it. Dylan Mulvaney is a perfect example of how identity can turn into branding. While some genuinely struggle with gender dysphoria, others see it as a path to sponsorships, clicks, and viral moments. In a media world that rewards controversy and visibility over truth, identity often becomes less about authenticity and more about performance. And when performance pays, the temptation to blur the line is strong.
The nonsense about, who dislikes me the most? Me. Oh my God, this woman has a national platform where she's passing on this craziness to God knows how many viewers. And then we all need a mom? Like, how crazy is that? No, we don't. We all had a mom, believe it or not. Some were good, some weren't great, some were amazing. I'm lucky enough to be in that category. I certainly don't need my politician to be my mom. Okay? Not at all. We joke about Trump being daddy because that NATO Secretary General referred to him as such. And it's sort of a joke, like dad's home. He's not actually our dad. And by the way, I lost my dad when I was young. Never have I actually thought Trump was my daddy. And Kamala is not our mommy. Now I realize Drew Barrymore has an effed up mom who put her into the spotlight at this young age and let her do drugs and drink when she was, I think, in the single digits, or like 12 at the oldest.
We don't elect politicians to act like our parents, telling us what to think, how to live, or when to speak. We elect them to lead boldly and decisively with a vision that lifts the nation, not themselves. What America desperately needs are leaders who understand how to rebuild an economy that works for everyone, not just the elites. That doesn't come from buzzwords or flashy speeches, but from policies that create lasting growth, empower small businesses, and open doors for families to thrive on their own hard work. True leadership also means standing firm on our freedoms, all of them, without apology. It means projecting strength abroad, so America commands respect, not ridicule. Too often we've been stuck with politicians more concerned with micromanaging our lives than defending our liberties. The government's role should never be to cradle us from birth to death. It should be to clear the way so citizens can chase opportunity. We don't need more caretakers in office. We need visionaries, statesmen, and stateswomen who know how to act, not just talk.
That's a sickness, right? She's platformed these people. She's leaned and awoke. Now she wants to get away with, on Bill Maher, saying it's too dangerous to say how you really feel. About what? You are the one who's been fueling the fire that you now seem to be calling dangerous. I mean, just like the hypocrisy. Be yourself at a minimum in front of all crowds, okay? If you've changed, then own that. Own how you've changed, how you've seen the error of your ways. You won't be kneeling down to the transgender cult anymore. And I'll listen to you. A lot of people have evolutions. I will listen to you. Right now, I think you're just saying what you think you need to say to be popular with Bill Maher's audience.
The truth is, maybe Drew Barrymore hasn't changed her beliefs at all. Maybe what we saw during that Maher interview was nothing more than a calculated act of survival. She knew exactly where she was sitting, Bill Maher's turf, where woke platitudes go to die, and she knew parroting her usual progressive lines could turn the interview into a public humiliation. So instead, she did what Hollywood veterans do best. She performed. She nodded along, played agreeable, and sprinkled in just enough lines to look like she'd seen the light. But scratch beneath the surface, and you realize it's the same Barrymore who has spent years aligning with Hollywood's woke orthodoxy. Her sudden change in tone felt too convenient, too polished, too rehearsed to be authentic. It wasn't conviction, it was camouflage. A strategic pivot to avoid embarrassment in front of Maher's audience. Not a genuine shift in ideology. That's the problem with Hollywood elites. They're actors first, truth-tellers never.
Another comment by Bill on some ladies on The View, SOT 31.
I love Whoopi and Joe. Those are the two I really know. And I did it like a year ago, and I like everybody, but I don't know if they're really, at this moment, the best advertisement for women. they just, it's
a format, that show.
They say some things that are just, like, not helpful, like, say, to elections. I mean, it's just,
Yeah, they actually are sitting on the floor. And still, she wasn't able to say what's real. Okay. Everyone who watched this show knows that he's right about that.
And if you want proof of how hollow the mainstream media has become, just look at figures like Whoopi Goldberg and Joe Scarborough. Scarborough has practically turned his career into one long anti-Trump monologue, injecting the former president's name into every issue, relevant or not, until his commentary feels more like obsession than journalism. Whoopi, on the other hand, has made a reputation out of bizarre, tone-deaf rants that leave her co-hosts squirming in their seats. Together, they showcase a media culture that thrives on partisanship, outrage, and performance rather than facts and balance. The result? Viewers are tuning out in droves, no longer trusting the platforms that once claimed to inform them. People are sick of the theatrics. They don't want stage plays disguised as news or daytime talk shows that echo Twitter arguments. They want honesty. They want balance. They want leaders and commentators who can actually engage with reality instead of pushing a script. Until that happens, mainstream media will keep bleeding credibility. And with that, we wrap up today's breakdown. If you enjoyed our unfiltered take, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe because this conversation is only getting started.